What's up, guys? Welcome back to Digital Dive-In, your proper gaming talk show. Welcome to the bonus episode. We're not giving you a proper game night this week. I apologize. I'm sorry, but we're not. We're doing this instead. We're still technically this is a game night, but it's not us playing a game. It's us talking about a singular game because reasons.
Yes, because we have to be edgy and have no personality with our show and do what everybody else does. Yes, because...
Look, we're doing this. We are going to be talking about Starfield, if you haven't noticed already from the title and the tags and description and freaking everything else. but we're phrasing it a little bit differently, right? I think we're taking a more original take on the whole Starfield deep dive, right? Because the Bethesda is known for these big, awesome worlds. They're known for, giving us awesome games, awesome stories. But they're also known for not living up to performance hype, at all, ever. When was the last time we got a Bethesda game that was perfect on launch? I don't think it's ever happened. I'm talking pure Bethesda here. I'm talking about core Bethesda, not Arcane, I mean, I've never really been a hardcore developer fan. I don't follow most developers. I just play whatever appeals to me, and if it just happens to be made by the same developer as this other game that I played, that's cool. But I don't really put expectations on companies because you never know what they're working with from project to project. If they're switching technologies, if they're switching publishers that want to do things certain ways. We really don't know, so I can never. I mean, that's fair. I'll give you that. I will 100% you know what I mean? That. You got Witcher 3 that was made on a certain engine. Witcher 4 is going to be made on a completely different engine. It's going to be a completely new technology, so who knows if it's going to... And you know what? There's a lot of good examples of, why you should not just trust devs in general. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is a perfect example. CD Projekt Red released killer after killer game, and then they came out with Cyberpunk, and it painted them really bad. So there's a lot of good examples. However, at the same time, Bethesda, they're not known for performance. They've never been known for performance, right? And they've never really been known for graphics either. But they've been known for good writing, good story, good gameplay. There's the big three. So no, yeah, absolutely. So we're obviously going to be diving deep into Starfield because they got a hour-long, 40-minute-long spot right after the Xbox showcase during Summer Game Fest. Also, if you missed our last Summer Game Fest video, we wrapped up the rest of the big showcases and events. Go check it out on our channel or on Facebook if you're on Facebook. But right now, we're just going to be diving deep into Starfield. So Starfield is a game that I have been so hesitant about since it got announced over 5 years ago. It's been a long time since it originally got announced. I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. It looks really, really good, and I really want this game to be great. I truly do, because I'm all about these industrial age space games. I don't know really what you want to call it. It's not high fantasy. It's not, it's not a high sci-fi really even. It's very It's just realistic. A space odyssey. Just call it what it is. Yeah, it's just a space odyssey. Yeah, but they're taking a more realistic spin on it, right? There's not space magic like there is in Mass Effect. It's not Star Wars. It's also not, living ships and stuff like that like No Man's Sky. It's a very grounded, very realistic take. It's almost basically the console version of Star Citizen. Basically. Which is may or may not be vaporware at this point.
No, I would say it. It just, we've had so many Space Odyssey games. It doesn't look anything. It looks gorgeous. It looks like a space game. They haven't shown me any environments that kind of wow me. I saw Mars. True. Mars looks nice.
Yeah, no, I will give you that. The environment, like, this is what pisses me off, right? Okay, you know what? We're going to start off with this, right? Because, like, the whole question around this whole video is Starfield too big for Bethesda? Todd Howard's been hyping this game up about, I would say, 4K resolution, capping it at 30 because they don't want to sacrifice fidelity and all that shit. But all of the environments that they've shown us have been more or less barren wastelands except for that one big city that they showed us. And then space, which looks gorgeous, not going to lie. Space in Starfield looks very, very beautiful. But it would look, all these environments and even the city, I want to say, would look exactly the same at 1080p. And would even perform better at 60.
I mean, I think a better way to organize the question is their vision too big for the hardware that they're working with right now? Because the way you said it just makes it sound like you're trying to throw salt at them. And
I'm 100% throwing salt at Bethesda. And they used to be one of my favorite devs, okay? So I'm 100%...
We cumulatively, as Digital Diamond, is not throwing salt on developers. We know you work hard. This is just them.
Okay, fine. Is the vision of Starfield too big for Bethesda? And
that's a more humble question. Yeah. I mean,
I think because this has happened before, right? This has happened where a dev will take a vision of what they want this game to be, and it never lives up to the potential or the hype. Case in point,
in there.
Many case in points. Cyberpunk 2077. No Man's Sky, Destiny, Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous. That was my. There's a lot. Since
everybody keeps, talking about these games that have hurt them in the past, but then they keep making the same mistakes, and then they have new games that hurt them in the past. I only need to get hurt once. That one time.
He froze. We'll wait. It's okay.
Was Destiny.
There he is. Well,
Destiny was the first game.
There it is.
And the only game that I needed to.
That was your breaking point. Destiny was your breaking point.
Not to believe everything that they say. Like, this is gonna be your destiny. It's gonna be the most expansive, most amazing game of all time. It's gonna be years and years of amazingness. They had a whole website for a whole year that was just Destiny, and they just kept talking about how great it was gonna be, and then it was just. Nice.
Dude, I know. Like, Destiny was good. Destiny had its... Like, it was good enough to get a sequel, right? So...
for a little bit, until the grind got annoying.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I thought it was another issue. Anyways, Destiny was good enough for a sequel, right? And the sequel was leagues better than the first game. I will give it that. The sequel was far better. But yeah, the first game did not live up. It really didn't. And you know what? I've gotten hurt a lot over the past 10 years of games. And there it is. Okay. It hasn't happened recently, which I'm very happy to announce. I haven't gotten hurt from a game recently. I can think the last one to hurt me was Cyberpunk. I think everyone kind of got hurt off Cyberpunk. But, I mean, even though, like, it didn't release the best, it was still very good. And KJ will even tell you that he low-key loves that game. Not even low-key, yikey. He likes that game a lot. He's super hyped for Phantom Liberty, right? And he came around to that game. I mean, he wasn't on it at first, but he came around, like a lot of people did. But Starfield is this thing that is just the scope of this game is ridiculous. It's very surprising too, because they're trying to do something similar to like No Man's Sky, because they're talking about 1,000 worlds that you can visit. They're talking about 4K resolution, like fidelity that they don't want to sacrifice. They're talking all this big game, big talk that this game is going to be like the end all be all for space games, basically, is what they're trying to do.
Did you hear that bitch from EA, from the Xbox presentation when they were announcing it? We were about to talk about the most important RPG ever made. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude?
Okay, you know what?
Are you serious?
You know what? I can't fault them for that at all because looking at their past,
I can.
Looking at their past, they've released some of the best RPGs ever made. Like Bethesda's known for releasing
shit.
It does. Look, their past has weight. I know, like, we said yes and no to this. We're kind of flip-flopping on this, but their past does hold some weight. Like,
yeah.
But there's always going to be that game that makes them fail, you know? I mean, with Cyberpunk, with CD Projekt Red, it was Cyberpunk. With Obsidian, with Arcane, it was Redfall. With Bethesda, it was still Fallout 76.
Yeah, but like, look at it's not even about their past. Just look at them as a company. Not take that fanboy stuff out of here. It's what they're saying and what they have to present. And all I see is that they're doing the same thing other RPGs are doing.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
More of it.
I'll give you that. Give you that.
That's all they're doing.
Like, they are doing a lot of, like, you know, the character customization is saying, oh, it's going to be so expansive. It's going to be so incredible. I will give you that, like, a lot of, you know, the dialogue that they've shown off, the character creation, the branching narratives. A lot of it just looks very samey from other Bethesda or even BioWare games. So...
Can't see me, bitch.
The girl's dying in the background. I can hear her.
Something was going on in the background. I have no idea what it was.
But no, I will give you a lot of, like, some of it does look very, very similar. But I will definitely come off and say the dialogue from what they've shown just looks like another BioWare or Bethesda game. It doesn't look all that impressive. However, they didn't show us a whole lot of the dialogue and stuff. They spent the majority of the time on combat, character creation, and ship customization, because those are the three big things that people are going to be spending the majority of time on. Which I understand. And it's like, I get it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be me shitting on the game. This is just me hating mismarketing and hating.
No, I'm right there with you.
Like, and to the other problems that we have with the game, it also contradicts what they're talking about this being the greatest thing of all time since sliced bread.
Yeah, I mean, like, so...
Point B, the fucking frame rate.
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
Exactly. Like, you can't be claiming you're going to make the end-all, be-all of RPGs, right? If the game is capped at 30 FPS. This video right here is 30 FPS. Do you want to play at this frame rate? No, you don't. You really don't, all right? I promise you right now, you really don't. And the best thing that I heard out of Todd Howard's mouth was like, it's going to feel really good in the heat of battle, man. Bro, what? What are you talking about? You're talking about the heat of battle at 30 FPS.
Hi, Patrick's dad.
Yeah, my dad's in the background. He's chilling. I got family over. I'm sorry, guys, if you hear them in the background. It's my family. Fuck you. I love my family.
Happy Father's Day, Patrick's dad.
Hey. He's downstairs. But I'll tell him when he gets back. But no. Yeah, like, are you telling me that you would want to play Call of Duty Warzone at 30 FPS? Do you know how many times, like, do you know how important frame rate is in combat? Now, I will admit, and I'll preface this, PvE combat is far less important at a higher frame rate than multiplayer frame rate combat is.
All games need to be at a higher frame rate.
I agree. But at the same time, like, if you're going to prioritize something, right, like, it's definitely going to be multiplayer, right? Because multiplayer is way more competitive than single player. Obviously. That's duh. Because, like, if you're playing, like, a single-player game, like, you don't need to be that reactive with stuff as you do with multiplayer. So, I think you do, but, again, not at the same level, right? Like, in a multi... Neo. You know what I'm talking about, like, an FPS here. I'm talking about, like, an FPS here. All right, especially one like a Bethesda FPS, right? Bethesda FPS, they're not going to throw at you the same level of shit that like Doom would.
You're talking about You're talking about arcade FPSs versus story-based FPSs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, that makes sense.
So you see where I'm coming from. Like, I see what they're doing, but if you're making the NLBL game, it needs to be 30 FPS. It just does,
and it needs to be flexible. That's all. It needs to be flexible performance-wise.
Just give people the opportunity to choose what they want. Like, freaking Ghostwire Tokyo.
Games.
Ghostwire Tokyo has 6 different performance and fidelity modes. Okay.
Yeah.
6.
Yes.
Holy shit! It was crazy. You could really tweak it to what you wanted and what you were playing on. Like, they tweaked it so if you're playing on a monitor instead of a TV, you could tweak it for that. If you're doing a TV, you could do it that way. It was crazy. They even had a VSync mode on console. Like, the shit, no game has a VSync mode on console. God damn.
Yo, that's how you know you're only on console. But you know what VSync is? The fuck's a VSync?
VSync is impressive. Okay? VSync is important if you don't want your game to stutter like a bitch. And you know what? And I'll even say this. Jedi Survivor, I still always get that weird screen tear at the very top of my screen. I still had that throughout the entire game. And I was like, fucking why?
It's beautiful. I never have to deal with screen tears again now that I have a monitor that's 240.
Exactly. So that's another thing. Like, we're talking about all this frame rate shit where me, Jules, and KJ will not have to worry about their frame rate whatsoever because we're going to be playing this shit on PC, not on Xbox. It just sucks for Xbox Series X, which is such a powerful console. Arguably the most powerful console. I love my PlayStation 5, but the Xbox Series X, Xbox has always performed better. They just... Xbox first-party games just don't know how to utilize it well, and it doesn't make fucking sense, but that's a whole other conversation.
I mean...
throwing shade at Redfall, you dirty bitch.
I mean, it's also to the point where it's just... We were promised no more 30 frames at the beginning of the generation.
This is next gen.
Here's the thing. This is why I feel like gamers need to be considerate of all gamers. Just because I have a way out of it doesn't mean I don't want my other gamer brethren having to deal with the bullshit of the industry.
I'm over here being mad for other Xbox players, and I don't even have an Xbox, man. Like, I'm not going to play this on Xbox. Yeah, I'm never an Xbox fan. I will tell you this right now. I was shit on first-party Xbox games till the day I died because a lot of them have been shit. All right? Again, throwing shit at you, Redfall. But... I'll shut Redfall forever. That game was absolute an embarrassment. And again, that game just in and of itself makes me nervous because it was published by Bethesda. It's owned by ZeniMax, which is owned by Xbox now, or Microsoft at least. Yeah. So, I'm nervous about this, but to be fair,
I mean, you do have a lot of these games that were in development. You do have a lot of these games that were in development before the purchase. So
we were, but now, like, this is what I'm saying. They were bought by Xbox. They have Xbox money now. They can sink billions of dollars into those games if they want to, and they'll still make a profit. Or not billions, but millions, at least thousands, whatever, 100,000s. I don't even care. I mean, you can sink money, and this game will still make a profit, guaranteed. All right, but
I mean, as you know, like, they like to pick and choose what they're going to spend their money on. So maybe just Redfall just wasn't something they were interested at the time to really, really invest in. So. I mean, who knows? It's really hard to say.
I want to get away. I want to get away from the 30 FPS topic because that topic has been beat to death. So, and I do apologize for spending so much time on 30 FPS, but there's a lot more to this game that they revealed.
It's
and they talked about. Okay, so let's talk about the 1,000 Worlds bit because that is a hefty promise.
That's a tall order, my friend. That is a tall boy on steroids.
I mean, No Man's Sky was the first game to, flex.
Attempt such a feat.
Flex infinite worlds, right? And it turned out that the majority of those worlds were more or less the same overall. Like, they were just like, you know, different biomes that covered the entire world. Now, they did improve that. They did fix it over time. But, like, they got a lot of flack for that on release. A lot of the worlds were just copy and paste because it was procedurally generated. So, and to be fair, I gotta defend No Man's Sky a little bit here. Because it was procedurally generated, it needed some time for those worlds to truly become unique. Because if you know anything about procedural generation, it's like a learning AI, basically. Right. It takes what it's seen and it just procedurally generates, it like randomly generates a bunch of stuff from everything.
The future that's going to kill us all one day. Yeah.
Kind of, but yeah. Procedural generation is truly incredible. It's a very, very interesting tool. I wrote a whole paper on this. If you want to see that paper, I will publish it somewhere because I'm still very proud of that paper. But that basically was my term paper thesis, if you want to call it that. That was the equivalent to a thesis. But
you should have ended it with 20 years from now, it will become Skynet and end us all. Well, that's the only way to write that. That's the only way to end that paper.
So I wrote that paper back when, you know, procedural generation was first really being implemented in a big game. But anyways, I don't know if Starfield is using procedural generation at all. They're saying 1,000+ worlds, but they have not
they're saying
said
that they're saying. I mean, I've heard that they worked on each one of these,
which is insane.
Individually,
which like I almost guarantee you, in that case, it's going to be similar to No Man's Sky, where each world is just a general biome world, similar to No Man's Sky.
If they put effort into each and every one of them, they're going to be starkly unique.
Okay.
If you think about how many years they've been working on this game.
Okay, yeah. They've been, you know, working on this game for 5 years, right? 5 years.
If you create ideas for 100 planets a week, you could do that in like 6 months.
Okay. Generating ideas for 100 planets a week is so different than actually designing and creating 100, like over 1,000 planets in 5 years. That is insane. Plus,
like you said, they're Bethesda. They
are Bethesda. But they're also doing all the combat, the character creation, the ship customization, the story, the branching narratives. Everything.
These games have tens and dozens of teams working on it.
They do.
Yes, of course they're going to be able to have that.
And yet all their games have always never performed well on launch. They've always had issues. They've always had some weird things here and there. I mean, I will say that Fallout 4 is the deepest RPG, the story-based RPG that you could play right now. I that might be wrong, but I'm just throwing that out there. Because the amount of dialogue options, the amount of just overall choices you can make in that game that change literally everything, it's so deep, it's so impressive. How they did that was insane, all right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're going to do that times 10 or more for Starfield, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they were working on it for so long. I imagine that they do have 100. I'm gonna believe them because they do have the resources to make such a thing happen. So, I mean, if you're talking about, you know, maybe Bethesda 10, 20 years ago, maybe not. But, like, you know, they've been rolling in money, you know, for the last 20 years. And they've made themselves a household name. So, yeah, I believe that they have made 1,000 worlds individually and unique. And if they haven't, that's more of a fuck up on their part. If it's procedurally generated or if it's handmade. So it doesn't matter.
So here's what I'll say about the whole 1,000 worlds thing. And then we'll get deeper into, like, the combat and the character creation ship stuff. I think we're going to save like the ship stuff for the last because I think that's the one that he is least excited for because I don't give a shit. But I could be wrong. I'm just guessing.
Here. I mean, I'm excited, but not really as much as this isn't like a game that I cared about the ship. Like I cared about the ship in Star Wars really enough because I'm a Star Wars fan. I just wanted that swag, But like I don't know this game.
We'll touch on the ships.
Yeah,
and, like. 10 minutes or so, right? But
yeah,
like the whole thing with the worlds, right? They did show us a couple of the worlds that a lot of them looked like, you know, just moons and shit. But the one thing I did like that I missed from No Man's Sky, right? Like No Man's Sky was literally created around like you were the first person discovering these worlds. Like these worlds are going to be barren. Some of these worlds have trading posts and little tiny places here and there. But from what I saw with Starfield, some of these planets have like cities in them. And that is what got me like, oh, this is what I wanted. Like I wanted to like go to like just a planet, like it looks all like whatever, and then all of a sudden you're flying around and you come up against this incredible metropolis, like out of nowhere. It's just like, what the hell?
I mean, that was.
I love that kind of shit.
I mean, that was also one of my worries. Was they talked about only there being like 5 major civilizations on 1,000 planets.
Yeah, that's also like, bruh.
So, and then also all the civilizations so far have been human. I'm like, now.
Well, I mean, they are talking about like.
I know we don't know the universe.
Yeah, we haven't seen any aliens in any trailers. We don't know what this
universe is. We don't know if this is a universe where aliens exist or not. We don't know the universe rules yet, so I
aliens
can't say
always
that
exist in every universe. You can't say they don't exist in any universe. There's literally no multiverse where aliens could not exist. It's literally impossible.
That's the whole point of the multiverse, is to have an alternate variation of everything that there is not.
Yeah, but that would be like
so there is universes.
That would be like one universe where aliens.
And this might be that one universe.
That would be really depressing. That would be really sad. Okay, I just
so there are a couple things that have caught some of us on edge. Like, where the fuck are the rest of the life forms besides human beings?
True.
We're all the way, like we're moons away. They took us to another galaxy, and all we saw were human beings. I'm like, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
So
then again, that is also all you see in games like Elite Dangerous and I think Star Citizen. I don't know if Star Citizen has actual aliens, but I know Elite Dangerous only has like humans. You don't see aliens in Elite Dangerous. So that's always kind of weird to me. But like the one thing I did like that they showed us were like the space stations or like the space fields, like the branching space stations. That was really dope. So I don't know. There's things I like, things I don't like. You're right. I will give you the whole alien bit. I don't like that you don't see aliens. That was my same gripe with the Star Wars Outlaws thing that we got. Like, I don't that we're getting another, main character that's a human. Give us an alien. There's a lot of humanoid aliens that you could make us play as. You could do it in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Strong of it. But yes.
I mean, I think the humans are the endangered species in the Star Wars universe. Just gonna put that out there.
But they're also fucking everywhere. So it's like, almost every single Jedi is a human. So God.
No, they're not.
You want to bet? I mean, I don't know if you can call the Sith. Well, like the original Sith were like a race, so technically they were alien. But
yeah,
either way.
I mean,
either way, like it's weird. It's weird, and if Starfield doesn't have aliens, it's going to be very awkward. Now they could just taking place in like a singular galaxy, but they did also take us to another galaxy. So it's like,
I mean, I'll take off one more gripe, and then we could just start going into the positives, because I feel like we've been kind of like
we've been tearing this game apart.
Not negative, but just grounded.
Yeah,
that's why I want to do the things that we're worried about. Because it's not like we're saying that it's going to be a bad game. These are just things that we've seen and heard the hype before from many games. More than likely, it may not have all these things in there, especially on launch.
Yeah.
So my last gripe is going to be with all this stuff that they're supposed to have. How big is this fucking game going to be? I'm not trying to have this shit take up 100. Star Wars Jedi is 128 gigs.
Well, hold up. I have to push back on that, because Jedi Survivor did have De Nouveau, which is a space hog. De Nouveau is the anti-cheat. Why you wouldn't include an anti-cheat on a single-player game, I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter why the games are as big as they are. And what matters is that the devs allow them to be released big as they are.
Well, here's the thing. De Nouveau was a EA choice, even from Jedi Fallen Order. So, and that game was big too. That game was big too.
That game was 50. That was only 50 gigs. You go from 50 to 128.
Well, I mean, they had bigger worlds, and then they had the De Nouveau. So, I will give that. Yeah. But let me see how big.
How big is this game going to be with 1,000 worlds in?
Horizon Forbidden West was 90 gigs on PS5. Okay, still less than Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor rather. But I will say that Jedi Survivor had the De Nouveau, which inflated the file size significantly. But you're talking about a game that has over 1,000 pre-generated worlds, right? These are not procedurally generated, so they're not being generated as you arrive at those universes or planets or systems, which is what happens in No Man's Sky. These are worlds that have been pre-generated.
Right.
And then you look at like a game like Final Fantasy XVII Rebirth, which is coming in 2 discs.
Yeah.
The fuck? Like,
yes. So I'm just really curious about.
So weird. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how much space I should have on my PC for this damn game. Now, to be fair, I'm also going to be streaming it, so I don't think I'll have to worry about space size. But still,
of course you will. Once your Wi-Fi gives out, you'll need it on some hardware.
That's fair. I'm going to need some hefty Wi-Fi to stream this game.
Yeah.
Some fiber optics to stream this game. But no, like,
yeah, man. So I'm just that's probably my last real big worry or gripe. Not even a gripe, just a worry. That's my only big worry is how are they going to optimize this game for all the platforms involved, you know. And then that $70 price tag for something that's capped at 30 frames, man. And it's not even going to be true.
Yo, that's exactly the reason that I didn't get Gotham Knights. That and the game just looked mid, in my opinion. I still have yet to actually dive into that game, but Diablo's taking up all my time now. So, shout out Diablo's lit. Diablo's lit. I'm almost at level 30. But no, like, yeah, $70 for 30 FPS, not worth it.
Not 4K.
I'm going to be interested to see if it's still $70 on Steam. I'm not sure.
It's like a little cheaper.
Well, typically there's just $60 on Steam, right? All the AAA games are $60. This could,
for the most part,
this could be the first $70 game on Steam.
So no, Survivor was $70 on Steam. Which
was it really?
Annoying. Yeah.
Oh shit! Never mind. I lied. Oh shit.
And then no, Hogwarts Legacy was $60. I think most things were $60.
That's actually surprising. I did not know that Jedi Survivor was $70 on Steam. That's wild.
Does Starfield have a price tag on it yet? Oh, it's $70 on Steam. You fucking bastards.
Yup. So no matter what, we're paying $70 for this game. I'm not. Fucking Steam launches fucking sales all day, every day out the ass. Shout out, Gabe. No. That's right. Then again, I can't say anything because I'm going to be paying literally $150 to play this game. So I can't really complain because that's how much Game Pass Ultimate is, or it's like $100. I forget, but either way, because I'm a month. Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. Moving into some positives, right? We're going to move into some positives that we saw from the Starfield Direct because they were positive one. It hasn't come out yet. I would say there are as many positives as there are negatives for this game. All right. So first thing I want to talk about is the combat. The combat itself looks really, really solid. It looks really smooth. I can't complain. This the FPS modes, the FPS segments in this game look really good. They just look really good. You know, I'll be honest. I'll be the first one to say the combat does look a lot better than what was initially showed off. It was very clunky, janky, just not, looking the best. I mean, it does look better. Yeah,
still not 30 frames.
I mean, I think it looks very similar to what.
Still not 60 frames.
I think it looks similar to what Cyberpunk looked like with their FPS stuff, especially their guns and everything. I think it looks a little bit similar to that. I will say that they do a lot more on-screen stuff for the dynamic weapon systems, the HUD, and everything else. It looks really good. It looks smooth. I like the look of the guns is very industrial age. I guess you could call this industry punk. I guess if you really want to give it a name, but yeah, for me it looks like that. I love the look of the ship combat. I really do. I have to say that I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but the stuff that they showed us looks just so damn clean.
The one thing,
really clean.
The one thing I find cool about this game, everything else just looks normal. That's been done 100 times before. The one thing I do like that not all ship games do is they do allow you to dock the enemy ship.
Yo, right? That is dope. That is so cool. I'm going to be interested.
I've seen other games do it, but not a lot.
Yeah, there's not many. There's not many. There's more pirate ship games that allow you to do that shit than actual starship games, right? It's going to be interesting to see how you can simply disable a ship to allow it to actually get up and dock with it. Mm-hmm. But that in and of itself, the fact that that's in the game is so cool, so dope. And I like this. They're actually going to have zero grav FPS as well, which there was a multiplayer FPS game that was coming out or did come out that was all zero grav.
It's still coming out. There's a demo.
It's not out yet. It's ass.
It's not out yet.
Oof.
You can try it for yourself. It's on Steam. If you just Google it, it's still out.
Because I know Call of Duty Ghosts had the whole zero grav FPS section in that game, and that was probably the coolest part of that entire game because the rest of the game was butt.
However, zero grav is a fun gimmick for a story,
it is,
but when I'm talking multiplayer, I need my feet to the ground. I need my 200-mile-an-hour dash.
Again, this isn't multiplayer. This is single player. So it's definitely going to be an interesting gimmick that they give us. It's going to be cool to see how it works. What I want to see...
Even in my single-player games, I require that.
Yeah, fair. What I want to see, and this is going to be niche, right? But it's definitely going to be in line with the whole industry punk type of thing, because this game reminds me very much of Battlestar Galactica type of thing. Oh, yeah. Right? It gives me big Battlestar vibes, okay? Minus the Cylons. But the thing I loved about Battlestar Galactica is I think it's one of the most realistic space combat games, because in that game, that one and the show The Expanse, if you're not seen The Expanse, cannot recommend it enough. Holy shit! But in the show, in the shows, in the movies, and whatever else they've made, when you're in space, you don't hear anything. You hear thuds, very deep thuds for the guns, the engines, everything. Because in space, you don't hear sounds. It's a vacuum. Right. You won't hear shit. It's not Star Wars. You hear the pew-pews and the engines and everything. That's not a thing. That does not exist in space. So I don't remember if there were gun sounds or engine sounds in space as much in the Starfield Direct that they showed. But in the zero grav section that they show, when you board a ship and you're in zero grav and you're like that, the guns sounded very I almost want to say matte, MATTE, where it sounded very dull sounding. It sounded like that. Yeah. But I'm not sure if that's going to actually carry over to space combat. I really hope it does, because that would be extremely realistic, and I low-key would love that. Even though I do love the rumbling sounds of an engine and the really cool sounds of a gun, having that be more
you could just take that as as like narrow. You can take that as like the person imagining what the sounds are like in space,
or just like hearing hearing those guns fire from inside the ship. I guess you could take it as that.
Right.
That makes sense.
Like
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Sure. But still, like if you're doing like the third person ship view, and I also love that the ship or the view for flying is both first person and third person. You can swap.
That's really cool.
Whenever,
I do like that.
I love that because I do love my first person dogfighting in space or just flying in general. I love that. I think that's so freaking cool.
The one other cool thing I will acknowledge, and there's only going to be two for me. This one, just feeling like it's an endless, like making it feel like it's they're trying to make you feel like it's an acid trip. And for those of you that have never taken psychedelics before, it's like you start your night at one place and then you get caught up in this other thing, and then you go on this adventure, and then you get caught up here, and then it takes you over there, and then you're like, how did I get 15 ways away from Sunday? You know?
Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Good seeing you guys. I got a party behind me.
You should change your name to Party Sands.
Party Pat.
Party Pat.
But no,
Party Bear.
Sorry, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. You got to see my entire family.
No, yeah. I mean, it just feels like it wanted to be like a true adventure odyssey where you're just like, you meet these people over here, then you get into this mini war and do this other thing, and then it's like, well, I'm not doing the story anymore. Like, try to do more like what Mass Effect and like Dragon Age. And
I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that.
I really do appreciate it. Where like it doesn't make you feel confined to like, you have this amount of side quests here or here or here. You could literally just find somebody, make friends with them.
That's what Bethesda is best at, right? Bethesda is really good at making you distracted with all this other shit. Like I was playing Fallout 4, and I put like fucking like 30, 40 hours into that game, and I was only maybe halfway through the story. Like, there was so much extra stuff in that game. It's insane, man.
Yeah.
Also, they said that, like, for the when you're doing your character customization, which they said is the deepest but also most simplest, which was very hypocritical. Did not understand that. Did not make any sort of sense whatsoever. But they said that for like the different backgrounds you can choose for your character, you can make yourself famous, which will attract like certain groupies and shit, which will just talk your ear off. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's kind of cool. But that'll be an interesting like gimmick into it. Like, I'm not gonna make myself famous. I'm going to do what I always do and be like either the lone survivor of this like horrible tragedy or some like, loner dude. For whatever reason, I make my characters the exact opposite of me as a person because I'm a very extroverted person, okay? I'm very out there talking. It's a fantasy. Person. Whenever I'm doing these games, like, I'm always like, oh, my guy was like a mysterious bartender. He was like, he was the only survivor. He wasn't a war hero. He was just the guy who survived, and everyone hates him now for it. Like, that was my background for Mass Effect 3. I was like the war hero, whatever, last survivor, whatever. Sole survivor, sorry. That was my background. But like Fallout, I was like a bartender or some shit. I just like that kind of shit. I mean,
it's fantasy. You get to live out a fantasy of doing the exact opposite of what you do in real life.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just like being more mysterious in these games. But
I mean, I think Starfield does have a lot going for it in terms of, being able to get people lost and make the world feel lived in, and then having some good combat, but everything else just feels very meh, and it just feels very like, well, you're just giving people more options. You're funny.
Hey, look, guys, I have 3 hands. I wonder who this is. It's my wife.
Awesome. Actually, the Wi-Fi connection. They need to calm down with the hype of Starfield.
Oh, 100%. Right.
It's going to turn out buggy as shit, and they're probably not going to deliver everything on launch.
This is the last thing I wanted to talk about. the last like 15 minutes to round this out to a good hour. Ship customization. I am a damn sucker for ship customization. Even more so than character customization, right? Like, I like my character customization. I like making sure my character looks dope as shit, right? Really, really cool, really gritty, really just suave and sexy and whatever. The complete opposite of me. But ship customization.
Oh, sorry. Do I have to do this on TV? Say you're beautiful with me. One, two,
Give me
three.
praise. Give me praise, bitch.
You're beautiful. Say it with me. I'm beautiful.
I can't say that on stream. Never mind. I can't say that on stream. Oh, shit. I wish I could pause the stream for a second. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm beautiful. No, the one thing I love more than character customization in an RPG or any game in general is ship customization. Ship customization is one of my favorite things ever because that's the thing I'm going to be looking at more than my character anyways. So
you think you're going to be spending more time with a game like this? You have to kind of decide what you want to do. What are you going to do more? Like, are you going to? So you think you're going to spend more time in space than on foot?
No, but it's also a first-person game, so I'm not going to see my character as much.
I mean,
as
you
like
could do
Diablo.
third or first person.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to be doing first person. Let's be honest. I'm definitely going to be doing first person. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, customizations really just depend on, like, if I want to do, it just depends on how the game makes me feel. Like, does it motivate me to want to?
Yeah, so
like,
that's the
games
thing.
It does, certain games it doesn't, you know?
So that's the thing. Like, this game I feel like is really going to be, there's going to be a reason that you do the ship customization because it's not just aesthetically pleasing, right? Everything you put on your ship is going to have status boosts. Increase or decrease your cargo space, your, faster than light travel, your just regular travel time, your combat ability, everything is going to be affected by what you do. And the best TikTok I saw was this guy saying, Bethesda, why even bother doing all this just to let like at least half of your fan base make really, really interesting looking dicks? Like, let's be honest here, a lot of people are just going to be making spaceship dicks. And that's just a fact.
I mean, why not? I mean, I actually did not have the idea to do such a thing until you mentioned it. So now I'm going to do it because of self-fulfilling prophecy. Congratulations.
I'm going to at least have, because apparently you can have a fleet of ships. It's not just going to be one spaceship, which is also very cool. And this is the one thing I love that they added in No Man's Sky was that you could get more than one ship and have like a freighter.
I hope
that's
we can have.
Cool.
I hope we can have ship sex parties where, like, I have a fleet of big black dicks and then
a fleet of vaginas.
Other vulvas. Yeah, just vulva ships. And they're all pink. And then we just come together, you know?
You know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Like
ship porn. It's going to be a new genre. Porn. It's going to be awesome.
Rule 34 comes to Starfield.
OnlyFans 2024. Like
it's going to be the new. It's going to be the new thing. It's going to overtake Overwatch on PH. So, God.
I mean, it's funny because this game.
I hate it, but I love it.
I mean, yeah, I'll make a joke dick ship, and then like
100%, we all are.
I'm gonna call it the BBC Express.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
And then I'll probably just make a serious one, but I don't know, man. I feel like
I'm gonna make a couple. I'm gonna make like I'm gonna have like a fighter. Like this is another thing that interests me, right? Because No Man's Sky has the freighter where you keep all your ships in, up to like 6 or 9 ships of your own ships. Keep 9 ships of your own in your own freighter. I don't know what Starfield is going to have to house all of your different ships. I don't know if they're going to have like a freighter or like a headquarters or if you're just going to be able to swap them in any hangar. I don't know. I have no idea. But like I'm going to have at least 3 different kinds of ships, right? I'm going to have a fighter. I'm going to have a cargo ship. I'm going to have an exploration ship. And that's what I have in No Man's Sky too. I have one specific for each one because my cargo ship is this big hulking dude, right? It moves slow. It doesn't have a whole lot of combat abilities. It has some heavy attacks, but that's about it, like rockets. But it has way less range and that kind of stuff, but it holds so goddamn much. And then my fighter is obviously my fighter, and my exploration ship is focused on range, mainly. Range and cargo. That's it. So
yeah, this
I'm going to have a lot of fun with this ship builder. Like, oh my God, I can't wait.
I think this game for me, like, it's going to be one of those just pick the most generic customizations I can. I love doing customized
spend some time on it. Make some interesting builds, man.
You know, that was my Diablo. That was my Street Fighter 6. This one,
speaking of which, Diablo later tonight. I want to play.
Oh yeah.
But no, like,
yeah.
Last thing I want to say about the shipbuilder: how many people do you think are going to make some of the most iconic ships in sci-fi history? There's going to be a couple of Millennium Falcons out there. There's going to be some There's going to be some Razor Crests. There's going to be some Firefly ships. You know it's going to happen.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
And I'm excited.
Bro, I'll see anything from Star Trek to fucking the DeLorean. What? Like,
my cat's meowing at me. Sorry. He's just
That's
sitting
what that
there.
was?
He's sitting there. Oh, there goes his tail. He's just sitting there like, I think he wants to be let out. But anyways, yeah, no, we're gonna see some iconic ships.
Yeah, I'll see anything from Star Wars to Back to the Future to fucking. You know, it's gonna be fun. You know, it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait. It's gonna be a blast.
VR Troopers.
Oh my God.
Star Wars 2.
Well, that would be kind of hard to do, I think.
Yeah.
But like Millennium Falcon stuff, I think we could do. I think we could do some like Star Destroyer level stuff. Everything kind of just looks phallic, to be fair, that they've shown us. So we're just gonna see a lot of dicks. But at the same time, like it really would have been cool if they made this like a semi MMO where you got to see other people's ships just flying around certain spaceports. Like just make us like the spaceports or like the space fields.
That's gonna be an extra 5 years of development.
That just would have been cool. Like that's one thing I love that they added into No Man's Sky was the Atlas that you could just jump into and see everyone's unique ship. That was super cool. I love that. But anyways, guys, did we answer the question of is the vision of Starfield too big for Bethesda? Final thoughts.
No.
Is it?
We didn't. It has to release.
Fair. That's a very good point. We won't know if it's too big of a vision until it does release. Because people have either made really, really good games that are way out of their scope, or they have failed at making really big games out of their scope. So we will legitimately just have to wait and see what happens. When is it? What was this game coming out in November?
September 9th,
September?
I believe.
September?
Yes.
Hold up. Let me just get the release day. It's September 6th, actually. 3 days off. But yeah, September 6th, which I am extremely surprised about. I thought it was going to be like late 2023. But either way, I am excited, cautiously excited for this game.
I mean, at least they're trying to market it in a better way as far as release goes and not putting it right next to two other major releases.
Yeah, true.
Like last year, it's fucking Gotham Knights, God of War, Callisto Protocol, Sonic Frontiers, all in like the span of like a month.
Well, that was all COVID. That was all COVID. I blame COVID for that. All those games got delayed, and they had no choice but to release them when they could. So,
along with Pokemon and Bayonetta 3, like.
Both of those games did not perform to par. I don't know about Bayonetta. I could be wrong about Bayonetta, but I know Pokemon did not perform well. So
right.
But anyways, guys.
So hopefully this year will be better.
Guys, what do you think? Do you think that Starfield is too big of a game for Bethesda? Do you think they're going to be able to pull this game off? We're both very cautious about this game. It's going to either make or break KJ's bracket. So it'll be interesting. You know, it'll just be a very interesting release. But guys,
I mean, we all took L's, and
we did.
KJ's
We did. I
KJ's
took an L on Redfall
so.
hard. I should have dropped that game. But I didn't, and that's my fault. But yeah, let us know what you think about Starfield in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching us. Thank you so much for tuning in to this bonus episode. Let us know what you think about these bonus episodes. Let us know what you think about these videos in general. And we're going to do more of these whether you like them or not. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit that like button regardless of what platform you're on. Hit that subscribe /follow / whatever else other button they got available right now, because we're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. So make sure you follow us on everything, because YouTube, you're going to get the edited version. Facebook, you're going to get the unedited version. And Spotify, you get the podcast version, which is the same as everything else, except you don't get to see our faces. But except you do, because Spotify has video now. And that's just weird. Anyways, either way, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Jules, thank you as always for hopping on. Everyone, thanks so much for watching. Stay excellent. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.